Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Perlmutter, for that very kind introduction, and thank you all in the audience for your very warm reception. Faculty members and administrators, distinguished guests, family members and friends of the graduates, and of course, you, the 2023 graduates of the Washington University School of Medicine. I am truly delighted and honored to be your commencement speaker. Now, over the years, I have been privileged to deliver a fair number of commencement addresses. And speaking with medical school graduates is a special honor, since my professional passion and identity, first and foremost, has always been as a physician. And whatever path you take in your medical career, to me, you are the bright future of our noble profession. Now, while the broad context of my own medical school experiences and yours share many commonalities, your journey has been truly exceptional. For you persevered in your training despite the profound upheaval, constraints, and losses caused by the historic COVID-19 pandemic. Consciously or subconsciously, each of you will carry an imprint of this public health crisis that intruded upon your formal education as well as on your personal lives. I have enormous respect for your dedication that allowed you to successfully complete your medical school training under these trying circumstances. In addition, as I've recently learned, I am thoroughly impressed with the extraordinary and impactful response that your class mounted at the university and community levels during the height of the pandemic. Now, as we in the United States, as well as the global community, officially close the door on the emergency phase of the COVID-19 pandemic, I hope that you appreciate that alongside the pain, suffering, and disruption, the pandemic actually offered you a once-in-a-lifetime learning opportunity from which to launch your medical career and to witness firsthand an historic pandemic. In addition, it helped you to realize your own adaptability and resilience. These qualities enabled you to press on and emerge from this disruptive event to be here today to receive your hard-earned medical degree, and undoubtedly will serve you well in the future endeavors as medical professionals. Now that we've entered the post-emergency stage of the COVID pandemic, analyses of lessons learned have inevitably begun. I am speaking not only of lessons that we have learned from COVID that can help us prepare for the next public health challenge, but also lessons that will apply to your future professional and personal experiences that may be far removed from pandemic outbreaks. And so today I would like to briefly discuss just a few of these lessons. First, expect the unexpected. The early phase of the COVID pandemic was brought to public attention in January 2020, and the causative virus SARS-CoV-2 rapidly traversed the globe. However, as the pandemic unfolded over months and then incredibly over years, the virus successively revealed multiple secrets, each of which caught us by surprise, as well prepared as we thought we were. Importantly, we learned that SARS-CoV-2, unlike most other respiratory viruses, is most often transmitted from people who are infected but have no symptoms. Moreover, to further outwit us, the virus continually mutated to escape our immune defenses and protections, resulting in the repeated emergence of more transmissible variants, causing successive waves of infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. Each new revelation not only humbled us, but also reminded us that when facing novel challenges in life, any predictions we might make about what will happen next or how a situation will evolve must always be provisional. And accepting that reality means also accepting the critical importance of being open-minded and flexible in assessing a situation as new information unfolds. In my own career, some of the most remarkable events that I have experienced or directions that I have taken turned out to be unanticipated or unplanned. And so as you leave the comfortable and familiar environment of Washington University School of Medicine and venture out into the wider world to begin the next phase of your life, please keep in mind that career paths are not always linear. Mine certainly has not been. If I had stuck to my original plans made 50 years ago when I graduated from medical school, I would have been in the private practice of medicine out of the New York Presbyterian Hospital at Weill Cornell Medicine on York Avenue and 69th Street in Manhattan, and you would certainly have had a different commencement speaker. That's true. Inevitably, any plan can be waylaid by challenges and intermittently rocked by disappointments. But unexpected and sometimes exciting opportunities also present themselves. And so I encourage you to be open to pursuing and capitalizing on these unanticipated opportunities. It might require stepping out of your comfort zone, but doing so can be exciting, fulfilling, and potentially career and life-altering. And so remember, expect the unexpected. Next lesson, embrace science and beware of the insidious nature of anti-science. Over the past few years, you've been immersed in scientific courses and schooled in the scientific method of inquiry. As you well know, data and evidence leading to new insights are the stepping stones of science and enable progress in scientific and medical research. In this regard, for the 38 years that I have served as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, my critical mission was to sustain a robust investment in basic and clinical research to better understand the human immune system and how microbes emerge, persist, and often cause widespread illness and death. A critical lesson we have learned from the COVID pandemic is the enormous payoff of that investment. Most notably, developing mRNA COVID vaccines was a breathtaking achievement. In January 2020, we first had the SARS-CoV genome sequence, and by December of that same year, 11 months later, the first authorized COVID vaccines went into the arms of individuals. This record-breaking timeline was only possible because of decades prior to 2020, we had invested steadily in fundamental research on immunology, on coronaviruses, on mRNA vaccine platform technology, on structure-based vaccine design, all of which was used to develop the first COVID vaccines. The result was millions of lives were saved in the United States and throughout the world. This is an extraordinary example of what investment in science can accomplish. Unfortunately, however, during the COVID pandemic, significant anti-science forces accelerated in our society and became louder and more entrenched over time. This phenomenon worries me greatly because it feeds on the denigration of scientific evidence and data, and disturbingly, the path from disparaging science-based medicine to undermining the foundation of our social order is a slippery slope. During the past 3 years, we've witnessed an alarming increase in the mischaracterization, distortion, and even vilification of solid evidence-based scientific findings. At the same time, conspiracy theories arose that became intermixed with these anti-science sentiments. The net result was that these dissonant information streams sowed public confusion and eroded trust in evidence-based public health principles. This became crystal clear as we fought to overcome false rumors about the mRNA vaccines during the rollout of the vaccine. And now, not only in our country, but worldwide, disparaging scientific evidence is threatening other critical aspects of public health as well, including the vitally important childhood immunizations. Next lesson, push back on the normalization of untruths. Putting COVID aside for the moment, the rise of an anti-science sentiment is part of a pervasive, larger, and even more troublesome problem in our society, what I call the normalization and acceptance of untruths. Sadly, many in our society have grown increasingly unfazed by or even numb to the cacophony of falsehoods and lies that not uncommonly are spread by people motivated primarily by ideological agendas or even profit. An untruth can trickle out unchallenged into the wide sea of global information. And then, as it picks up uncritical believers and adherents, become a dangerous undercurrent that exists alongside the truth. We see this happen daily, propagated through a range of information platforms, especially social media. The COVID pandemic serves as a stark example of how these undercurrents of misinformation and disinformation become the enemies of public health. The promotion of lies, disinformation, and false conspiracy theories caused thousands of people to doubt the safety and effectiveness of proven vaccines and treatments, and thus to suffer illnesses and deaths that could have been prevented had they accessed these medical interventions. But beyond COVID, the normalization and acceptance of untruths and outright egregious lying threatens many other aspects of our lives, in education, in business, in the law, in a way that should deeply concern us all. I do not believe that I'm being hyperbolic when I say that the normalization and casual acceptance of untruths without our fiercely pushing back can gradually lead to the erosion of the foundations of our democracy. We need look back no further than January 6, 2021 for validation of this concern. And so, I plead with you as you leave this outstanding institution. You are our best hope to counter this threat to our social fabric. Do not hesitate to push back on these destructive forces with civility, but also with all the strength you can muster. As physicians, with insights into evidence-based medicine, do your best to listen to doubts and concerns, and in turn, communicate with plain language and compassion to your patients, to the media, and to anyone who will listen, and explain what is known and what is not known. An increasingly important and vital part of your career will be helping people to understand and to follow the best available science-based information. So let me leave you with a few thoughts on our chosen profession. Nearly a century ago, Dr. Francis Peabody told medical students at Harvard, and I quote, "One of the essential qualities of the clinician is interest in humanity, for the secret of the care of the patient is in caring for the patient." Simple words they are, but they are as true today as they were then. In our modern world of technology, a CT scan does not care for your patient. Robotics does not care for your patient. AI does not care for your patient. You and your humanity are the keys to optimal patient care. I have tried never to forget that, and I urge you to do the same. Finally, I have been speaking to you over the past few minutes about issues that have a serious air to them. I want to close with a reminder that amid these serious issues, life holds the potential for much joy. It is important that you allow yourselves to cultivate this joy as much as you do your professional accomplishments. Find your source of joy and embrace it. Many of you will be in serious and important positions starting relatively soon. This is not incompatible with the fact that you have so many other things to live for and to be happy about. Reach for them often and relish the joy. Congratulations to you, to your families and your loved ones. Good luck, and God bless you.